Okay, so this is Stardust. Just had a press conference out in front of City Hall, which is where we are right now, about the foreclosures. Foreclosure fighters were there, March 20th, 2012. Stardust is a major player in Occupy Bernal. And I asked you the question, would you repeat the question?
Sure.
And give the answer.
Sure. I think that's the first time I've been called a major player.
Well, I think
of myself as an organizer in Occupy Bernal.
All right. I will. For henceforth, I will call you an organizer.
It's fine. And I think your question had to do with the protests against Wells Fargo, how we've been gradually building up our protests. You know, we've started with protests at the bank branches, and actually on January 20th, we had major protests at Wells Fargo, multiple branches, and the headquarters downtown, where we actually shut down the headquarters for quite a while. And then we did a protest at the CEO, John Stumpf's home in San Francisco. And all those protests are really good for raising public awareness about the issue of the role of the banks in foreclosures and foreclosure auctions and evictions.
I have to tell you something. Just got to interject here.
Sure.
The group auction of how many people? About 150 people were there.
Something at the Stumpf auction. Yeah, I would say about 150 people.
They auctioned off John Stumpf's condo on the top 2 floors.
Yeah.
And during that, somebody poked their head out from the 2nd floor. And so somebody heard all of this commotion.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, Diamond Dave Elliott talked to me, and he pointed out Alcatraz is across in the bay from John Stumpf's window, where on a different day John Stumpf would be.
Yeah.
So I mean, this auction was very lighthearted, very well done.
It was street theater.
Yeah.
To illustrate basically what Wells Fargo is responsible for every day, foreclosing on people, auctioning off their homes, and then evicting them from their homes. So we did a little street theater. We threw around a lot of $1 million bills, and to bribe the person who was acting as John Stumpf. And we did foreclose on his home, auction it off, and evicted him. So it was to have fun and to raise awareness about the issue. So I think
the effectiveness of these things is what the question was.
Yeah, I think, and that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
I think they're effective for raising public awareness and educating people. I don't think that the banks are going to respond to those protests. I think it's going to take more than that. And one of the things that, one of the campaigns I've been working on is called Occupy the Auctions and Evictions. And the idea of that campaign is a direct action campaign that's targeted specifically at foreclosure auctions and at evictions. And what we're trying to do is raise enough capacity, organizers who are willing to come to City Hall on a weekday and block a foreclosure auction. They happen every weekday. We ask people to come at 1:45. We only block the auctions when we have a homeowner or a renter who's requested that we block it. And we're building up capacity, so we have at least 10 organizers on each weekday and at least 25 people on Wednesdays available every week to block auctions and to block evictions. And so, for example, I'd like to say hello to Catherine Galvez here. Her home was slated for eviction this morning. She was slated for eviction from her home. Wells Fargo was going to throw her sister, and their dog out of their home this morning. Now we've gotten a temporary delay of that until next Wednesday. But if we can't get the bank to agree to stop that eviction process and to notify the sheriff of San Francisco to stop that eviction process, then we'll be faced with a showdown. And what we do is we get up early, we're there at the house by 5:30 in the morning, and we have enough people there 24 hours a day protecting that home. We call it an eviction protection, an eviction prevention action. And we're there to protect that home until the banks renegotiate and assure us that the person is safe in their homes, safe in their home. So if you'd like more information about that, you can go to occupytheauctions.org or occupyevictions.org.
What happens if the police come up and come there and try to throw you out?
Well, so far we've been very successful. Just the presence of so many people at the home has prevented the sheriff from moving forward on plans for evictions. But it could come one day to where those who are willing to put their bodies on the line simply stand in the way and hopefully stop the eviction from taking place or are arrested in the process.
Is this what happened at Dexter Cano's house last Friday?
At Dexter Cano's house, there were 70 people there to protect his home from eviction. Actually, it was a reoccupation action. So he had already been evicted from that home. Right. But what they did is they met at a nearby home on Caseta Avenue in the Bayview Hunters Point district, and 70 people marched over to his home, and they reoccupied his home. So he's now in his original home with his family, and there are people there 24 hours a day making sure that he's not going to be evicted from his home.
Now he has several children, I think 3 children.
I believe that's right. I saw a picture of his eldest son who was helping to make a sign that they put up on the house. Their house right now looks like a protest house because they have banners against foreclosures and evictions right on the house.
And he also talked about the fact that he lost his wife. I'll take that out. He lost his wife and then his home and being tossed out with several children. I mean, when he talked about it over there at John Stump's auction, it was heart-rending to listen to him. So, do you know if he got back? Was the house in good shape when he got back in?
As far as I know, the house was fine.
With his furniture.
Of course, it's a very traumatic experience for him to have lost his wife and his house and trying to take care of his kids. It's a very difficult situation. I'm sorry I don't know the answer about whether the furniture was still in the home when he returned.
Okay. That's fine. I can just take that out. But I thank you for a most articulate statement. And
very welcome.
Is there anything else that you want to say about this?
I guess it would be great if you're motivated to help stop foreclosures, auctions, and evictions in San Francisco. Please go to occupytheauctions.org and sign up as a home defender. And if you're facing a foreclosure auction or an eviction, if you've gotten a notice of default and you're concerned that you might not be able to pay, please sign up as a foreclosure and eviction fighter at occupytheauctions.org. Your neighbors are here to help you. We want to keep you in your home. Thank you.
And also, one final question. How do you work with ACE?
ACE is an amazing organization. We love working with Grace Martinez and John Eller and Aaron and the whole gang.
Aaron Franey.
And their foreclosure and eviction fighters are near and dear to our hearts. We work like this. We're together. Okay. So when there's a foreclosure situation in Bayview, folks from Occupy Bernal are ready to go there. We had the case of Monica Kenny in the Excelsior. We stopped that eviction. That was combined ACE, Occupy Bernal, Occupy SF Housing, everyone getting together, chipping together, going to the place where the greatest need is and stopping the eviction or stopping the auction. So that's what we're going to continue to do until we get that moratorium on foreclosures and until the banks are ready to come to the table and give people a fair deal to stay in their homes for owners and renters alike.
Thank you so much, Stardust, and great work, Occupy Bernal and ACE working together.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.